Why games are massive. So the reason why I thought it was this interesting is because COD, I think Modern Warfare, I think it takes like 400 gigabytes to download. I think something close, like 300. It's like 200. I swear it's more than 200, but I'll take your word for it. I swear it's closer to 300, but that's still insane. A hell of a lot more now. Yeah, I thought maybe it's like close. It's still 70 to 80 if you just have the multiplayer. Yeah, I figured. So I want to know why. I want to know why this is happening. It's all the cosmetics. Yeah, actually, you've got a point too.
It made many headlines during its launch period for the
Titan
wall
P.
running, mechs, and multiplayer exclusivity. But most infamously, its storage capacity on PC, demanding 50 gigabytes to install.
50 gigs in 2014? That was a lot, actually. 50 gigs in 2014, yeah. Because, like, 1 terabyte was considered, like, not that. It was, like, kind of a lot back then.
And it wasn't the only big boy. In fact,
my brother buying a
2014 seemed to be
terabyte,
the dawn of thickness.
like hard
Wolfenstein
drive.
New Order, Advanced Warfare, and Shadow of Mordor all required 40 gigabytes or more, which was considered ludicrous.
Yeah.
For someone with a 10 megabit per second internet connection, they would start the download, go to work, come back from an 8-hour shift, and still be downloading for another.
50 gigs? Yeah, our internet was not that good still. Yeah, in 2014. Ludicrous. Actually insane. How much gigabyte does Final Fantasy 14 have? I don't know, you'd have to go look it up. 1 terabyte was extremely big back then. I remember my brother bought one in 2012 or 13, and I was like, wow, 1 terabyte back then?
Another hour, all for a single game. So it says something then that when Doom Eternal was announced to be 40 gigabytes at launch, I breathed a sigh of relief. Titanfall, Mordor, New Order, that's baby shit. At least when compared to the Evangelion monoliths of today.
Ooh, wait, what was that? 250 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 250. Red Dead Redemption being 150 is a lot. However, Red Dead Redemption was oofta. It was a great game. Mine is 85 gigabytes. Yeah, that's not that much.
Of today. Large PC games might still be producing the same headlines, but the number in said headlines risen substantially over the last 5 years, even during the making of this very video.
It's kind of cringe because it means that people who can, like, if you buy the game and you don't have enough space, it means you're too poor to buy more storage. And storage is kind of expensive if you live in a country where those kinds of parts are marked up. Medal of Honor still going? Oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
We've got patches as big as those old games. Hell,
oh my
it's
god.
not just the
43
today,
gigs!
as consoles are handling games that are over 100 gigabytes in storage. So, why? Well, it's important to explain how much of this is necessary. I've been modding the Mass Effect trilogy again with
uncompressed audio definitely does not help at all.
The most popular texture mods updated for more detail, and even updated with high-resolution cutscenes, either remade in Blender or upscaled by AI. It's pretty awesome, but this isn't the 4K mod, it's the 1080p one, because Mass Effect 3's 4K cutscene mod is 16 gigabytes. The DLC packs another 15. That's not because the game is overly littered with cutscenes where the modders are rendering AVIs and After Effects. That's just how much space 4K resolution video takes. And until we manage to rewrite how data itself is preserved, that's not going to change.
Do you think that'll happen? I don't know how data writing works, but do you think that'll come around? It should, right? Because we used to have like tiny little fucking like storage devices for like 32 megabytes. I remember going to school and like I would get like a 500 megabyte little fucking USB. And I was like, wow, this is a lot.
For those
Better
with the ability and
compression,
desire to
yeah.
play the latest AAA games at high resolutions, even with compression, intelligent maps, and optimized bit coloring, textures and cutscenes alone will assuredly push
Floppy
your
disks?
game to the
Nah, I
30
never
to
use
50
floppy
gigabyte
disks.
range. 1280 by 1280 textures are approximately 3.6 megabytes. 4K textures are as much as 64.
Whoa!
It's not just the big things like character models, but logos, UI, and skins which quickly eat up data on high resolutions. Software engineer Kiprian Cludd has a great reference point. This opening screen for Heroes 2 of Might and Magic, The Succession Wars, is 300 kilobytes. In
Holy
Destiny 2,
shit.
300 kilobytes is only enough to process this single icon. If
What? One little picture, not even like a gun? Yeah, that makes sense. That's actually insane. Holy shit, man. That's actually, like, that puts such a perspective. A gun is like 10 megabytes. Dude, I remember when I wanted to download something for 10 megabytes. Holy moly. Stop the press. Stop the press. We're gonna load this page up. How much did he say? He says this was 100 kilobytes, I think.
not requires
Or
more.
300
And this
kilobytes, excuse me,
concept of
300.
the little things accumulating to a larger whole hints to another reason why many modern games are so large. A reason that's more questionable.
Okay.
Yes, games with 4K textures and video are inherently massive and look superior to their predecessors which lack them. That's reasonable. But are we really meant to believe a 1v1 fighter necessitates a larger file capacity than open-world RPGs? Or that a driving sequel has to be 70 gigabytes larger than its predecessor?
Oh my
or a
god,
5v5 house
70
shooter being bigger
gigabytes?
than Assassin's Creed Odyssey? There's something all of these games have in common though: post-launch content. Dirt Rally 2.0 is 70 gigabytes bigger because of DLC that, whether you own or not, installs to your system.
Oh, they pack everything in there. That is so scummy. Oh man, even if you don't buy it,
Presumably,
huh?
this is so when you're playing and want to start an event featuring a car and stage you don't have, all it takes is one quick purchase on the store to change that. DOA 6 has it too. Lots of it. Endless
Ooh.
amounts of it, in fact.
Holy
Once ag-
crap! What? Ha! 54 4 4 4 3 3 3 3 3 3 2 2 2 2 2 22. What the actual crap, man?
of it, in fact. Once
And that's not even what I. Oh my god. What? It's not even as good as a fighting game. I probably look at you have to look at the titties, you know?
again installed to all owners of the base game, even the free-to-play core fighters version with 4 characters. And if your instinct is one dress couldn't be that big, remember, it's not just a dress, it's a
It's the
4K
titties.
dress. Multiply that hundreds of times and it explains how a game so simplistic on the surface can dwarf those with larger worlds. According to R6 Loot, Rainbow Six Siege has
How many bytes of biddies?
1,448
Probably a lot of bytes.
cosmetics just in headgear. There are 132 skins for the L85. There's something messed up in forcing players to download heaps of data for a microtransaction economy, which by its design is meant to withhold things unless you pay or play. I'm not saying post-launch content is the only reason games are so big today, but it's often an ignored reason, likely
Holy
because it's assumed these
guacamole!
cosmetics don't mean anything. They're just skins. How can skins take up as much data as a new level? But these games only have a couple dozen maps at best. Cosmetics, those operate in the thousands. Speaking of Siege though, it did something
Rainbow
helpful, release an
Six
optimization patch
Siege!
and bring the game's file size down by 20 gigabytes. This
Okay.
is a rarity. Games today are reported by multiple developers to be riddled with duplicate files, uncompressed audio, 32-bit color and grayscale textures, even shipping 10 languages of audio to everybody regardless of region. Now,
That is actually dumb. Why do you ship it to a country that will never use it? Like, what? And at least make them download it if they care enough.
Some of this is done in the name of the user's experience. File duplication is done for the same reason developers did it on the PS3,
mind.
to reduce load times. Titanfall had 35 gigabytes of uncompressed audio to assist low-end computers, which couldn't decompress audio fast enough to retain a high frame rate. More people being able to play games is always a good thing, but there are several caveats to this. For one thing, this is assuming somebody with a poor computer has great internet. And second, users with more than a dual core were storing 35 gigabytes of uncompressed audio for no benefit. Uncompressed audio to improve performance has a low bottleneck, an exclusive benefit to those with the most minimum of requirements. Contrast this to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Initially listed at 175 gigabytes, it was
175. And then it got worse, bro. Oh my god. Holy. What? How much? Didn't we look at a video where a guy said that they had like a game that was like 30 megabytes? And it was like a little platformer game? 175 gigabytes so far. Yeah, exactly. And then there's more.
Then proclaimed to be 80 gigabytes instead. That sounds impressive, but it really isn't. They simply made the high texture pack an optional download, meaning they were originally going to force everybody to download 175 gigabytes for settings the majority of consumers wouldn't be able to run even if they wanted to. Considering how many people with high-end machines pursue frame rate over texture quality, myself included, that fraction may be even smaller.
I don't understand how a game like that takes up so much space. He explained it. It's basically all cosmetics and uncompressed audio. What is going on? What is that sound? Are you stealing something? He stole a little plastic bit off the floor and was chewing it. Sorry. I heard crunching and I was like, what the fuck was that? Sorry. Yeah, he's a little brat.
This lack of consideration for consumers will undoubtedly vary across the industry.
They don't give a fuck.
Some say it's merely a symptom of having hundreds of people crunching at the end of development, where everyone's prioritizing the game's stability rather than file size. Others say it's the complacency modern developers have, which couldn't exist in previous generations when games had to fit onto a disc. It's also theorized.
Yeah, I think it's just so inconsiderate of people that can't afford or don't have good good internet and stuff like that. Our survival evolved as 400 gigabytes. Yeah, I know. It's insane. Diablo 4 requires more memory storage because you're forced to load every other player's inventory at the same time. Yeah, I know about that. My VTube Studio literally was memory leaking with the game because the optimization on Diablo 4 was so bad. They never fixed it, I don't think.
Where games are developed.
I had to restart my Diablo 4 like every hour and a half, maybe 3 hours, because it would fucking make my PC crash. Along with OBS, V2 Studio, VBridger, and Diablo 4 at the same time.
Fuels the complacency. Cliff Harris of Positive Games said to Digital Trends in 2017 that games are mostly developed in big cities by young people in tech hubs, where everybody has fiber optic and download speed is never a concern.
Yeah, but what if you're living in like, I don't know, like some other country that's not like doesn't have good internet? Then your chatter's coming streamer, why is your D4 crashing? Yeah, and they're like, your PC isn't good enough. And I'm like, I can run everything except Diablo 4. Like, you are so fucking stupid and clueless. Yeah.
Plus, there are still some idiots who mock a game for being a small download size. Yes, that actually happens. So, there are tons of reasons games today are literally getting bigger and bigger. Some of them are reasonable, some are debatable, and some are inexcusable. And the reason Modern Warfare 2019's 250 gigabytes is Infinity Ward made a game with all of them. Massive levels, heaps of content, a plethora of post-launch additions, uncompressed audio, multiple languages, high-res textures and cutscenes, the lot.
Okay.
But even the realities are accompanied by something else that's inexcusable: the lack of choice. Why can't we compress audio on faster machines? Why can't we delete high-res textures on slower machines? Why can't we uninstall modes we don't play? Why can't we select the resolutions of cutscenes we watch? Why can't—
Because fuck you, that's why. It's too much work to have all those options, and yeah. Who the fuck plays with games of small install size? I don't. I live in rural America, they aren't gonna put better internet out here. Yeah, exactly. That doesn't seem very fair for some people. Yeah, or no money, or or for example, you buy the game and then you realize your setup doesn't have enough space. Oh, oopsie! Now I have to wait for my for Amazon to deliver me a new SD card. Oh fuck! I'm out of like $80. I have to refund it or some shit. What if I can't afford it? Like, it's just so unfair in a way to people who just don't have money.
Can't we disable cosmetics?
Or don't have the money for that shit?
I know why for that last one, but this is the real problem. The lack of consideration for consumers downloading these games.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, I'm currently speaking from a position of privilege. I've got high-speed internet in a bustling city. But for most of my life, I lived on a tiny island in the middle of nowhere with 2 internet service providers, Shaw 10 or Telus 5. Tough choice, I know.
Upper middle class hobby? I would say it's I think if you play on a console, it's probably a more of a lower middle class to middle class hobby. Just because getting a console and installing and having it like there is not that expensive compared to getting a, $2,000 computer. Did anyone start recording an SD when SL dropped? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think so. I have close to that amount of space and I still like my games smaller. Yeah, it's just annoying. I hate running out of space when I'm on my computer.
So I'm very familiar with canceling gaming sessions with friends because our multiplayer game of choice released a 10 gigabyte update, taking hours to download, assuming your connection's stable. If I had that internet today, I wouldn't even think to download games like Modern Warfare, Dirt Rally 2.0, or Hitman 2.
When I lived in a place where I had 5 megabytes down at best, it was so bad. I think it took me like a day to download Final Fantasy 14 when I lived like really far away from the city. It was so fucking bad. I think BDO took me like 16 hours straight of downloading as well. I think, yeah. BDO took 16 hours straight, and Final Fantasy took me about 10 hours. Was the wait worth it? It was okay. I mean, I played it. I was bored. Took me 3 days to download AC Valhalla. Hell yeah! Doesn't Australia have shit internet? I don't know. I don't live there.
Take literally days. Even if the
I would
game
love
in
to have
question
5.
was
It's
free,
not that much better, but yeah, it's not great.
Data caps are the norm, and to think someone's capacity is being used because a studio can't be fucked or is too busy to optimize their game's file size is seriously messed up. It's a popular conspiracy theory that games like Modern Warfare are intentionally inconvenient to prevent alternatives being installed on people's consoles. I wouldn't have put that past Activision, but I also—
Wait, what does that say? Activision patents matchmaking that encourages players to buy microtransactions? Wait, what? This is from 2017. What the actual fuck? Activision patents matchmaking that encourages players to buy microtransactions. Hold on, let me Google that. Activision patents matchmaking that encourages players to buy microtransactions. This is from 2017, so this was 6 years ago. Sorry, I'm just really curious. Patent granted to Activision outlines a new matchmaking system that would pair players together in order to encourage microtransactions. Use various tricks to encourage players to drop cash. So it's not surprising that game publishers would find more underhanded ways to get those wallets open. This was an exploratory patent filed in 2015. It has not been implemented in the game. I'm sure it is now because it's been fucking 6 years. I had a nightmare during my nap where I paid $20 for a COD skin. Holy, that's a lot of dosh for skin. At least it wasn't the Diablo 4 horse armor for $70. In a resume, if a game is free, it has microtransactions. If it's a law in mobile games or free-to-play games. Yeah. You're going to bed? Okay, Atomics. You wanna rest. If you spend money, you get easier lobbies? No, really? None of this functionality appears in Destiny? Oh my fucking god, that is such a cope. This is so funny coming from someone who works at Destiny. The patent also posits more straightforward applications such as generating NPCs to fill certain roles on a team or dropping players in maps that favor their play style. That is fucking funny, dude. Hi, Wukong! We're the face of your enemy? Yeah, well, now we know.
I wouldn't have put that past Activision, but I also know there's a large group of people who don't install it because of the inconvenience. And if companies like Activision want to squeeze every dollar from every consumer, which they do, at some point there has to be a line, which they have drawn. With the exception of Warzone, you're now able to remove sections of Modern Warfare, dismissing the theory. However, this is only one step in the right direction. Now, I'm not naive. They have worked this out. The average download speed in America is 50.2 megabits per second. The latest consoles start at 1440p, and more than 35% of US households have a 4K television. The demand for high-quality assets exists, and major markets have the infrastructure to access it. Unlike the 8th generation, where companies thought consoles were going to fade away completely to the mobile market, now they're planting the seeds early.
How old is this video? Oh, it's 2 years old. Okay, I was about to say.
That investment for the future doesn't eliminate the problems of the present. Yes, America has places with fast internet. There's also ones with no broadband at all, towns with a single service provider, and connections more unstable than the Mako's physics. And God help you if you're a developer living in these areas. What's being asked isn't unreasonable. We've hosted optional texture packs, we've allowed file compression, we've rendered multiple cutscenes, and we've sectioned off modes. Why not make these things a standard? Pirates have already been doing this for years. If you're going to let consumers have agency over resolution, controllers, and even version of the game they play, customizing what to download and store is just one more branch on the tree. This problem isn't going away anytime soon, but it can be addressed tomorrow.
It's been 2 years since this happened. It's gotten worse. This video doesn't even know how bad it gets, dude. Average in America is 50 megabytes. I live in rural America outside of Starlink. Nothing is 50 megabytes average here. You have to realize this is outliers included. Yeah, outliers, you know, averages don't include, they include outliers. So if a place is 800 megabytes down and then they compare you, they still average higher, right? So yeah, that's what average is. Not a median. Median is different. That's why I think people should sometimes use medians instead of averages for certain places, because America is so big and other countries are so different as well. Like, if we take the average of Japan, for example, probably is still better than the American average because America is so much bigger. In terms of, like, not population, in terms of, like, geographical size. As this is that I will never be able to play the single player, but I still have to download, like, 30 gigabytes of single player content. Ah, Street Fighter 6. Okay. Mommy. Piss. Shit. Piss. Fuck. Fucking shit on. Calm. Piss myself. Fuck. Piss. Fuck. Piss.